Hey, friend, and welcome to Perfect Periods, the place where we discuss how to navigate different periods of life while perfecting our actual periods. What? Like it's hard? I'm your host, fertility awareness educator, Berri on Berri, but you can call me Berri. Here, you'll learn how to master your cycle so you can truly master your life. Now grab your favorite beverage and maybe a notebook, and let's dive right on in. Have you ever found yourself Googling, where is my period? How can I get my period back? How can I recover my period? If so, today I'm going to share with you 3 things you can do to recover your period. And in case you're new here, I'm Berri. I'm a fertility awareness educator and your period loving bestie. Clearly the host of Perfect Periods podcast. Now, I want to share with you what it is I recommend people to do in order to recover their periods. And I also want to preface, I had to do this myself, okay? So at the top of 2023, my period decided to go missing for 17 days. And this is exactly what I did in order to recover it, okay? The first thing that I did was reflect. I thought about where I was at in life 90 days ago. So, a lot of people don't realize this, but it takes an egg about 100 days to develop, okay? And in that time, there are so many different things that can be going on that's impacting your health. So, you really need to think about where you were at in your life, what was going on in your life 90 to 100 days ago in order to really conceptualize the magnitude of things going on with you. So for me, I knew I was coming out of a long stretch of fight or flight. I also knew that when it came to like what I was doing with my habits in terms of my wellness, there was a lot of room for improvement, right? So I want you to really just sit with yourself and reflect what was going on in my life 90 days ago. And if you're like, that I need a little bit more help, I want you to think about whether or not you felt safe in your body 90 days ago. And I want you to think about whether or not you feel safe in your body now. Oftentimes, people don't realize the relationship between the nervous system and the endocrine system and how that's impacting your menstrual cycle. But it's so important that you know, one, there's this relationship there. And then two, keep in mind the body is keeping the score. If you don't feel safe in your body, then your body might not feel safe to release because it knows like menstruation is very energy intensive. And so, like, if you're in this heightened fight or flight, right, then there's a chance that your body's like, nah, sis, it's not safe. So, like, keep things like that in mind, okay? So, that's the first thing I did. I reflected, one, on where I was in life 90 days ago, and two, how I was feeling presently in my body. The second thing that I did was critique my wellness routine. Okay. I think a lot of times people forget the importance of being real and honest with yourself. But if you're like, whether or not you're measuring up when it comes to your health, whether or not you're prioritizing it. So, what I really want you to do is to sit with yourself and think about what you could be doing better. I want you to grade yourself like on an A to an F scale, grade your wellness routine. If I were to grade my wellness routine 90 days ago, it was a solid like C, if I'm being honest with you. Like, it wasn't even a B, it was a C. I was like, oh, I have to take my probiotics. Ugh, I have to go for a hot girl walk. Ugh, I just can't be bothered. I don't want to journal. That's literally where I was 90 days ago. And so naturally, because I was like doing the bare minimum, my body was giving me the bare minimum. And at the end of the day, our body is kind of going to match our energy, whether or not we realize it. Okay. So I want you to like grade yourself and really critique your wellness routine. Okay. The next thing that I want you to do is think about like what's working and not working. Okay. Once you look at the grade you give yourself, think about what's working and what's not working with that. And then you're going to go into the third step, which is resetting things. So once you've taken note of, how you feel in your body, you've graded yourself, and you've given yourself a starting point. You now want to create kind of this little reset for your well-being. And what you want to do is really say, okay, this is what I know is working, and this is what I know is not working, and this is how I'm going to improve. So one of the things I noticed for me was like, I was taking my probiotics, I was taking my vitamins and supplements, but I wasn't loving it. So what did I do? I decided that I was going to switch things up and make it a little bit more of a vibe, right? So if you've read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, then you know it's so important to one, make in order to achieve a goal, you have to have your system, but in order to build habits, they need to be first obvious, like obviously, why am I doing this? Second, they need to be very attractive. And then third, they need to be easy. So I needed my vitamins to be in my face the second I wake up, and I needed them to be aesthetically pleasing. So what I decided to do was create a whole little supplement corner in my kitchen. So the moment that I wake up, make my way to the kitchen, turn my kettle on, I'm looking at my vitamins sitting in this little jewelry tray that's very cute, might I add. And I'm like, oh, that's right, I get to take you. Okay. I even changed the vessel in which I'm drinking my water out of. Slightly extra, yes, but am I drinking more water? That I am. I filled this thing up like 4 times today already. So you want to do that. In addition to the making it obvious, making it attractive, make it easy. So instead of even having to think about what I need to be taking, I set my vitamins out the night before so I don't have to think about it. It's just automatic at this point. Okay. So that's the first thing you want to do is like really, I'm checking my notes, by the way, so we stay on topic, but you really want to make sure that you are on it with your routine and implementing habits. And I would highly recommend that you build a habit stacked routine that works for you. I built one that worked for me, and it's now what I'm recommending to you all. So if you want to know the exact things that I was taking and the exact things I was prioritizing in terms of nutrition and movement and vitamins to help me like get my period back on track, make sure you get your hands on my daily flow habit tracker. It's the 5 things I do every single day for a better period and overall harmonious hormones. So there's that. But if you're like, no, I just kind of want to figure it out for myself, this is what I'm going to recommend. You do one thing for your period health, one thing for your gut health, and one thing for your mental health every single day without fail. This is going to allow you to actually figure out what's going on with your body. I think a lot of times, again, we don't think about the association between our mental health and our hormonal health. And like what's so important to know is like your menstrual cycle quite literally starts in your brain. So if your cognitive health, your mental health isn't where it needs to be, I can assure you, you can do all the stuff for the gut health that you want. You can do all the stuff for your hormonal health that you want. If that mind space isn't where it needs to be, if your actual brain and neurons aren't doing what they need to do, baby, you are in for a very interesting situation, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? I'm gonna recap the 3 things you need to be doing. First, you need to reflect. Where was I at 90 days ago, and how do I currently feel in my body now? The second thing you need to do, critique yourself. It's okay. It's a conversation between you, yourself, and like, that's it, okay? I had to have a conversation with me, myself, and I and be like, you know better. You know you need to get up and drink some more water. You know you need to be having protein before you have your caffeine. What are you doing? You know better. You know you need to stabilize your blood sugar levels. Why are you not doing it? Girl, I had to get myself together, like honestly and truly. Okay, so critique yourself. And then from there, you're going to reset your routine. You're going to establish habits that are very obvious, like you know this is going to elicit an outcome. I knew for a fact that making sure I was getting up and getting enough sunlight, I knew for a fact making sure I was eating at least 3 meals a day and my accompanying snacks because I'm a grazer. I knew that would lead to me feeling better in my body, performing better in my work, and of course, signal to my body it's okay to release. It's okay for you to have your period, right? And that's ultimately what I knew I needed to do. So you're going to do things that are obvious, and then you are going to make them attractive. So like for me, one of the things I needed to do is like figure out how I could get more fluid in my diet. So I got these little things to make me want to drink more water. When it comes to my green juice, I now drink it out of a champagne coupe. Like I needed the aesthetic, I needed the vibe. Okay. When I'm drinking my kombucha, I'm drinking it out of a wine glass or a champagne coupe because it makes me want to drink it. It just like makes me feel bougie. And I'm like, yeah, that is nice. Okay. Like, not everything has to be curated for y'all, but like for me, it does. That's what makes me want to do. And then make it easy. So now it's a no-brainer. Now I'm batching my juices at the top of my week on a Sunday afternoon so that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're good to go in the mornings. And then I'll redo it Wednesday evening so that I'm good Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Boom. And I'm doing it again, making it easy for myself, ultimately making it better for my body. Okay. So, with that being said, I hope this has been really supportive to you. And as always, I'm sending you big love and flowy vibes, and I'll talk to you soon.